Where are my Hunger Games fans at? Because today we're going to be talking everything Hunger Games. So let's get into it. So first of all, I just want to say that this video will be all spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movies or haven't read the books, come back when you have, or if you just want to know all the information about it and you don't want to, this is also a fine video for you to watch. But let's just get right to it. So first off, I just want to say I love this series so much. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I love Josh Hutcherson. I love the whole cast. I love the series. It's so good. I love the books. And I also want to talk about Team Gale or Team PETA. Now, I honestly believe there's only one option, and that's Team PETA. And I can't be Team Gale. Now, I just want to say that it drives me crazy when people are like, I'm Team Gale, because like he basically killed Katniss's little sister. And it's just, he just said some things and he just coded to her after the first games when it was just all playing to save her and Peeta's life. He would just not be nice about it, and I just really wish he could have tried to be more understanding, but he wasn't. Anyway, so now I want to get into talking about some of my favorite scenes from the book. Now, the first one I have right here is very cute. I love it. Thanks for keeping a hold of me. I was getting a little shaky there, says Peeta. It didn't show, I tell him. I'm sure no one noticed. I'm sure they didn't notice anything but you. You should wear frames more often, he says. They suit you. And then he gives me a smile that seems genuinely sweet, with just the right touch of shyness and unexpected warmth rushes through me. That is just so cute. He's like, listen, you are a gorgeous young woman on fire. They're obviously going to pay more attention to you than they would ever me. I just think Peeta's just so sweet, and I love him so much, and I just wish he didn't have to go through all that garbage stuff he went through, and it breaks my heart. But I know it's just a fictional series and all, but they're real to me in my mind and on TV. I just love it so much, and I know there's a lot of people who agree with me. And it's just so sweet. Now, there's another part that I want to talk about, which is this is when Haymitch and Peeta and Effie are sitting at a table eating breakfast on the train. And it's just so cute. I love it. So this is what it says. You can coach us all together, I tell Haymitch. Peeta nods. Alright. So give me some idea of what you can do, says Haymitch. I can't do anything, says Peeta. Useless. You count baking bread. Sorry, I don't, Katniss. I already know you're handy with a knife, says Haymitch. Not really, but I can hunt, I say, with a bow and arrow. And you're good, says Haymitch. I have to think about it. I've been putting food on the table for 4 years. That's no small task. I'm not as good as my father was, but he had more practice, and I have a better aim than Gale, but I have more patience. He's genuinely with traps and snares. I'm alright, I say. She's excellent, says Peeta. My father buys her squirrels. He always comments on how the arrow never pierces the body. She hits everyone in the eye. It's the same with the rabbit she sells the butcher, and she can even bring down deer. This assessment of my skills from Peeta's task totally by surprise. First, that he ever noticed. Second, that he's talking me up. What are you doing? I asked him suspiciously. What are you doing? If he's going to help you, he has to know what you're capable of. Don't underrate yourself, says Peeta. I don't know why, but this rubs me the wrong way. What about you? I've seen you in the market and you can lift 100-pound bag of flour. I snap at him. Tell him that's nothing, yes? And I'm sure the arena will be full of bags of flour for me to chuck at people. It's not like being able to use a weapon. You know it, isn't it? He shoots back. He can wrestle, I tell Haymitch. He came in second in our school competition last year, only after his brother. What is the use of that? How many times have you ever seen someone wrestle someone to death? Says Peeta in disgust. There's always a hand-to-hand combat, and all you need to come up with a knife, and you'll at least stand a chance. If I get jumped, I'm dead. I can hear my voice raising in anger, but you won't. You'll be living up in the trees, eating raw squirrels and picking off people with arrows. I just think that scene is so cute because this is one of the times where kind of like, wait, he actually knows quite a bit about me. He knows what I do. He knows I'm good with hunting. And Peeta's like, wait a minute. She watches me a little bit too. Like, maybe she does like me. You know, and I just think it is just so cute because they're just going back and forth like, no, I'm like, you have better skills than I do. It is so cute that they're just trying to like talk one other. I'm like, no, you can do this. Like, you have more strength than me, and I'm just good with a bow and arrow. Like, that's nothing. And Peeta's like, no, that is better than me. There's not gonna be like chucks bags of flour all over the place. And it's just so cute. And I just can't believe that it took me so long to read this series like that. So I have to talk about a very important scene to me. Just let me get it. I'm coming back into focus when Caesar asks him if he has a girlfriend back home. Peeta hesitates, then gives an unconvincing shake of his head. A handsome lad like you, there must be some special girl. Come on, what's her name? Says Caesar. Peeta sighs, well, there's this one girl I've had a crush on ever since I can remember. But I'm pretty sure she didn't know I was alive until the reaping. Sounds of empathy from the crowd, unquieted love that they can relate to. She has another fellow? Asked Caesar. I don't know, but a lot of boys like her, says Peeta. So here's what you do. You win, you go home. She can't turn you down, hey? Says Caesar encouragingly. I don't think it's going to work out. Winning won't help me in my case, says Peeta. Why ever not? Says Caesar, mystified. Peeta blushes, beet red, and simmers out because she came here with me. This is such an iconic line for Peeta. Now, whenever I talk about how they took some of the sassiness out of the movies, they kept that part in the movies, but I'm just saying they could have put more from the book for his sassiness because it is so cute. I love it. And it's just so cute. I just can't. And Susanna Collins, she knew what she was doing when writing this series. I don't know if she wrote the first book thinking that there was going to be a second book or not, but it's just so good. I love it so much. And it's just so cute. And I just love him so much. Now, there's this other scene that I absolutely adore. So this is when Katniss goes looking for Peeta because she found out that she could actually win if her and her partner from the same district both stay alive and one is dead. So she ends up seeing Peeta like down on the ground in mud, using his skills, and then he's like, here to finish me off, sweetheart. I wish they would have kept that part of the movie because that's another part of sass that they could have added into his character. But that scene, and then the scene when she's cleaning him up, and Katniss is like, here, put this over and I can wash your pants or shorts or whatever. And he's like, oh, I don't care if you see me. And then Katniss is like, well, I do. He's like, you're just like my family. That scene is so cute. And whenever she's nursing Peeta back to health, and he's like, I watch you going home every day or whatever. I just think I really love the cave scenes because if you think about it, Peeta does not give a lot of screen time in any of the movies, and I wish we did, but I understand. But so I want to get into talking about my favorite scenes from Catching Fire, because most people say that Catching Fire was the best book and movie, which I can totally understand. But I can totally understand. But before I actually do that, there's of course is one more ending scene that I have to read to you because it is literally the best way to finish a book to like make someone want to read the second book immediately. And I'm so happy for this reason that I did not read it when the books were coming out, because it would have driven me crazy not knowing what would happen next. So here it is. I absolutely love this. So let me get it up. Haymitch startles me when he lays his hand on my back. Even now, in the middle of nowhere, he keeps his voice down. Great job, you two. Just keep it up in the districts until the cameras are gone. We should be okay. I watch him head back to the train, avoiding Peeta's eyes. What does he mean? Peeta asked me. It's the capital. They didn't like our stunt with the berries, I blurted out. What? What are you talking about? He says. It seemed to be too rebellious. So Haymitch had been coaching me through the last few days, so it didn't make it worse, I say. Coaching you, but not me, says Peeta. He knew you were smart enough to get it right. I didn't know there was anything to get right, says Peeta. So what you're saying is that the last few days, and then I guess back in the arena, that was just some strategy you two worked out? No, I mean, it couldn't even talk to him in the arena, could I? I stammered. But But you knew what he wanted to do, didn't you? Says Peeta. I bit my lip. Katniss, he drops my hand and I take a step back as if to catch my balance. It was all for the game, says Peeta. How you acted? Not all of it, I say, tightly holding on to my flowers. Then how much? No, forget that. I guess the real question is what's going to be left when we get back home, he says. I don't know. The closer we get to District 12, the more confused I get, I say, and he waits for a further explanation, but none forthcoming. Well, let me know when you work it out, he says, and the pain of his voice is pebbled. I know my ears are here because even with the rumble of the engine, I can hear every step he takes back to the train. By the time I've climbed aboard, Peeta has disappeared into his room for the night. I didn't see him the next morning either. In fact, the next time he turns up, we're pulling into District 12, and he gives me a nod, his face expressionless. I wanted to tell him that he's not being fair, that we were strangers, that I did what it took to stay alive, to keep both of us alive in the arena. That I can't explain how things are with Gale because I don't know myself. That it's no good loving me because I'm never going to get married anyway, and he'll just end up hating me later instead of sooner. That if I do have feelings for him, it doesn't matter because I'll never be able to afford him the kind of love that leads to a family, to children, and how can he after everything we've just been through? I also want to tell him how much I already miss him, but that would be fair on my part. So we just stand there silently watching our grimly little station rise up around us. Through the windows, I can see the platforms thick through the cameras. Everyone will be eagerly watching our homecoming. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Peeta extend his hand. I looked at him, unsure. One more time for the audience, he says. His voice isn't angry, it's hollow, which is worse. Already the boy with the bread is slipping away from me. I take his hand, holding tightly, preparing for the cameras, dreading the moment when I finally have to let go. So when I first read this book, I thought that was a great way to end it. The way that they did the ending of the movie, I wish we would have got that whole thing, but of course we wouldn't get her inner monologue because most movies don't do that. But I absolutely adore the first book. And the second book. I just love all of them so much. And now we actually get to Catching Fire, because Catching Fire seems to be most people's favorites, which I agree. It is probably one of the best ones, but personally, I think I rated all of them 5 stars, I think, because I was just so in love with her writing and the characters.